Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roach Wiggle, August 31st, 2021. 2021. I know I said 2023. I was looking at the time and date thing down here, and I saw 7:01 p.m. I said 21. Off to an excellent start, as I can see. Welcome to everybody who's here currently. We have Tennyson, LC, Jojo Bugs, and Zen Monkey. Welcome. Let's see. What was I doing now live on your channel? Inboxes are cleared. Website has been blog posted and updated. So, Satchel, hello. Looking forward to tomorrow. Maybe I might do a blog post tomorrow night, maybe, or tomorrow at some point. Mr. Big News. I have a couple things I wanted to talk about. Maybe after a couple more people funnel in here. Let's see, plus we can get the mic without it being shot. There we go. First of all is William will be joining me tomorrow for bug work, which is exciting, and Will should also be joining me, as I understand it so far, perhaps every Friday into the foreseeable future for bug work. I made him an offer that he could not refuse, and so I will have somebody here helping get things under the thumb. Thank you, Will. Yeah, that's how I'd be saying. So that's good. It'll be good to get on top of things and not just be kind of always reacting to stuff. Indentured servitude, says Satchel. Tessence has 2 adult female gyna bisanulata. So good job. We'll wait for some babies from those. Be quite the accomplishment to put on your resume, Tennyson. So yeah, that's the first thing that I'm very excited about is Will coming back for who knows how long. Obviously, the intention is for Will to always be back, but we're working on that. Quite a few gears turning. Hello, Braden. Good to see you. Hope everything from the box is doing well. Let's see what else. I should send an email to somebody whose auction stuff went out really quick. Did they arrive in good shape? All right. LCS, how long do Dusky Cave roaches live? I've been having die-off. There's a person on Roach Forum who had a hybrid cave roach that lived for, I think, 4.5 years. So with good care, and if they're not reproducing like crazy and have a lot of space, apparently adults can live a very long time. I think it was from an all-female setup, so that might be part of it. So I'd say a year to 3 years, maybe, you should expect with ideal care. So we've got a couple of people in here. I'm not sure if I wanted to bring up some of this stuff until I could put a poll up here first for one of them. The first thing is the fall Bugapalooza auction. The time has come. It has returned, and this year we will be doing it primarily the last weekend of September, and this is, of course, so that I can beat out the traffic from the Tinley Park, which is going to be the first weekend of October. So it's going to be here sooner than later, and I'm just trying to figure out if I want to. So it was last year, it ended up being three days, maybe 3 days and some change. I can't really remember. And this year I want to plan ahead, and I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to do an extra day on the Friday, so make the whole event Friday, September 29th, Saturday, September 30th, and October 1st. Or if I want it to be Saturday the 30th, Sunday the 1st, and then because we have the normal time slot of the Thursday live stream, them making that day or part of that day be the other auction day. So I'm going to put that to a vote here. I'm going to say, would you prefer the Fall Bugapalooza Extra Day be the Friday, September 29th? Whoops, don't vote on that, guys. Oh, I guess I didn't publish it. September 29th or Thursday, October 5th. September 29th, Thursday, October 5th. Must be a dog walking by out front. All right, here we go. So I just put that up there. Can I pin this? No, I just got to leave the poll up there. Zen Monkey says, sounds like an 8-day event, Thursday through Thursday. Was I clear with that? Extra day. Okay, just extra day. Will the auction be on YouTube or Discord? It will be on both as it was last year. So you can obviously just participate on the Discord and you'll see things pop up with their pricing and all that stuff, and bid ending, all that stuff will be done there. The physical side of everything will be done there. The official side of everything will be done there. The live stream is obviously for the social aspect. Also, you get to hear me talk more about what's being offered. If there's, I don't know, care tips, something special about the strain, whatever. It's additional information. And you do kind of get a heads up here first of what's going to be posted. So it is a very good idea to have both of them up. Also, the giveaways are done exclusively in the YouTube live stream. So to get stuff from the giveaway, you'll need to be here. Will this be the biggest auction yet? It very well could be, and it's going to be something. I should also say next Thursday there will not be a live stream. It's Angela's dad's funeral / memorial services, so next Thursday there will not be a live stream. But basically, there's a lot of stuff going on. I say this month as if it is already September, but so that's we're doing that next week. Angela is currently moving out of her apartment and into her to her dad's old place, so we've been doing that. I've got Will coming back to work and help out with things, and just sort of getting ready for winter. I've been sterilizing substrate and materials to have on hand, and just sort of to bulk out tubs before winter, and also just to kind of start building a stockpile. So Tennyson is our image bot. So thanks to those endeavors, there were pictures at the spring auction, so long as Tennyson was happy to provide them off of his various means of seeking images. So just a friendly little bot, human bot. So it looks like again, I'm just going to leave that poll up this whole live stream. Not sure how long this live stream will go. There's a couple things I'd like to get ready for Will tomorrow, but I'm really hoping that by the time my life gets uprooted by the next auction, that I will have some degree of peace and schedule consistency. Angela and I have just been all over the place the last month with all this stuff, and it's really looking forward to some downtime this winter to collecting trips slash vacation in January. And I am looking forward to the auction. It's just going to be, auction itself is not so much work as it is packing everything up, but I do have some strategies. I'm learning some strategies to help get things more organized and to people faster. Every time it's a work in progress. So we do have that coming up, and it's gonna be a pretty big auction. It's gonna be so much stuff, and again, I'll be here. I don't know how long I'll plan for on Friday, but Saturday, Sunday will probably be like before, where it's like 12 plus hours each time. We will just keep going, and I'm okay with that. It's a twice a year event. I don't know where I'm going to be in the spring, if I'm going to do another auction. Well, what did I do for the summer auction? I limited myself to like 100 items, and it was still huge. So I don't think I can go wrong, but I can, since I'm going all out for the fall one, there will be ridiculous things listed, obviously. And this will be great in preparation for for the move and all that stuff. I mean, we're going to need as many funds as possible moving out to do the stuff that I want to do, not just the business, but also personally. So we'll leave this up here. It seems like it doesn't tell me exactly how many people voted. 8 votes and 62%. Come on, not fractions. Give me numbers. Seems like there's a mild preference for the 29th. I'll just leave that up there. So with that being said, I'll move on to this next thing I want to talk about, which is not so much bug related, but more YouTube channel related. And I thought I would bring it up here in case anyone has any opinions, experience, strong feelings, etc. So, believe it or not, I am now eligible for the YouTube Partner Program. And, I've read over what YouTube says about that. But I just wanted to see what the general opinion was. Will I be signing my soul away? Is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Not off the paperwork, in the sense that 5 for the 9th, 3 for the 5th. Thank you, Zen Monkey, for defractioning the percentages. But yeah, so I've been, I saw this. It would be wonderful to have some income from doing the live streams, other than the site traffic and whatever else they may bring. So, but I just wanted to get, if anybody had any ideas or experiences, what the general thoughts. If anybody had any thoughts on that? Like, oh, my cousin, I say make money. Yeah, well, somebody be like, my cousin did that, and he said a swear word on YouTube, and then they wiped his channel off. Or, I only know when I get bored. When I'm bored working, I will, or when I'm doing robot work, like cleaning containers or feeding isopods or something, I will listen to some YouTube drama type content. And so I don't necessarily have an irrational fear of something bad happening, but I was just curious with things. Jojo said, you should do it. I have heard no horror stories, and you are kind of PG. You are 100% PG, yes, other than Roach Crossing After Dark, which is definitely not PG. But obviously I don't put those videos up, so maybe it's just the the face of things that matters. So, and I think YouTube already puts ads on some of my videos, even though I don't see anything from that. So, I went to watch I think I was trying to tell somebody Pseudoglomerus magnifica husbandry, and I went to watch the short that I had, and I think there was an ad for it, and it was like, really? It's like 50 seconds, and there's a like 20-second ad or something on this? It was just kind of dumb. I know that's the way the world economy is based on selling ad space, or at least the Western economy is based on selling ads, but it's just kind of, really on a bug video, on a Roach channel bug video. Zen Monkey says they can/will trash your account regardless of whether you're monetized. All right, live streams don't get monetized until they're dead streams. You may as well capture part of that if you can. So that's good, I guess. And I think some of my videos already have ads that pop up on them. So I just kind of figured that was, everybody, the Zoomer life goal nowadays is to be an influencer / streamer. I just, more funds for bugs and stuff, and is always a good thing, especially if it's just I'm not doing anything different. I'm just monetizing something I already do. So I'll probably start moving in that direction. I don't know how this will affect the viewing experience, if there will be unskippable ads on my 2-minute bug videos going into the future or not. I don't know. But my apologies if there are, but at the same time, know that you are helping the Roach machine continue moving. So it's worth it. All right. So some wise folks have chimed in, and if anybody has anything that they don't want to put into the chat, they can always email or Discord or whatever it may. Zen Monkey, 6 years from now, Kyle has the disease. He'll do literally anything for clicks. We miss you, buddy. I have stated a couple times I have one idea for a viral video. It is the lowest I will stoop in my life. I mean, actually, it's not anything against my morals or ethics or anything like that. But I do have one idea for a video that I would like to do after moving, and maybe even splurge to have shot sort of professionally. And it would be a one and done kind of thing. And, everybody says I'll do a one and done something, and then they're not really one and done. But for me, it's like I can't manage, I cannot do what I love and manage a large brand image over an internet personality at the same time. So we just have to be that. Worst case scenario, I would probably end up like, what's his name? Joey Santor from Crime Pays but Botany Doesn't, where I think he got a TV show deal, but he is unwilling to compromise his himself and or his persona. And so he's very free in that respect still. So if worst case scenario, I would probably end up like him. But I do have the one idea in my back. Tannerite. I gotta look up what Tannerite is. This is Zen Monkey. A brand of binary explosive targets used for firearms practice and sold in kit form. It definitely does not involve explosives, so that's the good news. I do think that a lot of people, all of the stream viewers, would get a really good kick out of it. It also has broad appeal. So, but I would like to, I have a whole idea for how I would like this to go down. And the best part is I could do it even if I was ancient and geriatric. So, so should I decide to chase my 15 minutes of fame when I'm much older, this is a very easy thing to do. So, so look out for that one day. Don't know when. Hopefully within the next 3 years, but we'll see. We gotta, there's a lot of logistics and stuff going on with this, and it needs to be if I'm gonna do this, I gotta go big or go home with this particular thing. So, but anyway, so it sounds like it is a good idea for me to move forward with this partner program and see where things lead to. Um, with that being said, I am hoping. I think I still, I gotta see what I've been offered or how this goes. I think that it's like some division of that has let's see, earn. Um, let's see. Yes, I'm eligible for one of these things, I think. Or it's like putting me it's letting me know that I'm getting close to being ready for one of these. Where did I think I snoozed the email? When will the Air in a Vegas stream be? Well, considering I just redid all of my, or not redid, I just like bumped all of my Air in a Vega to like full size enclosures, at least all the ones that were really well established or like that are on the verge of becoming well established. That might be soon. What I was actually thinking of doing, and you all can demonize or forgive me for this later. I have a very large collection of crickets, and a lot of these. When I did the auction last time, I was trying to sell the crickets, and I was just kind of sitting there sputtering, like, "Oh, it kind of looks like this picture I found on iNaturalist and blah blah blah." So I'm debating if I want to do a cricket live stream or a video of some of the crickets. Kind of, I don't know exactly what I want to do. Again, a live stream would be nice for covering ground, but I can't film in that super high resolution format I've been doing some filming in, so that's the downside. The other downside is the last time I reliably edited a video was probably like 2016. I have no video editing skills or video editing knowledge with the current software that's available. And so if I were to do a video like that, I would like to have at least some very bare bones editing of fade ins, fade outs, maybe some text on the screen or something. And so if I did that, I would either need to have somebody in the circle of bug people do that sort of stuff, or I need to take a day and go through and find a good software that's free or cheap that I can use that's also got a good interface for working with stuff. And I don't have that time right now. So again, that's where the live stream would be good, or I could just maybe get a short video of each of the colonies, like kind of in the format that I've been doing for some random things on the channel, like I did with the Aphaloria and the Harlequin roaches and stuff like that. Just get it over the minute threshold so that YouTube doesn't throw it into the shorts category. Although, honestly, that Pseudoglomerus magnifica short got a lot of views, so maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. Thank you. I appreciate any help, Jojo, but you got a lot on your plate as it is. You're gonna have a lot more on your plate in like 2 weeks too. Shorts are not monetized. Okay, that's good to know, Zen Monkey. Although it is part of the qualifications for things to get public short view. Oh, that's a 10 million. Yeah, that's not happening. So I got to get my public watch hours up. Actually, that live streams won't. I don't know if live streams will go into that because the auction weekend is definitely going to bump. Let's see. We'll just do some numbers. We're 36 hours minimum times. Let's say that there's 50 people at this live stream, so that's 1,800 public watch hours from the live stream generally speaking. Yeah, and Jojo, you've got a child on the way. It's gonna be very busy. Take a 30-second clip from a longer video to make a short. Yeah, I could do that too. But it seems like if public watch hours are counted from live streams and not from dead streams, that the next auction would qualify that criteria and push me over. But the other problem is I need at least 1,000 subscribers, and the subscribership is a trending upwards, but it's not exponential. Hello, Alan. But I will be having some people advertise for the fall auction on Facebook, etc. Maybe I will put some of that promotional material in the Roach Crossing Discord and just sort of say, hey, if you share this and you take a screenshot of wherever you posted this information or whatever, you get, I don't know, $5 off your auction winnings or something like that. With a, like a maxing out of like 4 of them or something. And, that way it gives people a monetary incentive to spread the news and gets things out to the vast corners of social media and forums and whatnot that I am not able to currently creep through. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll make a post on that. Promotional material should be completed on Labor Day. I'm probably going to start distributing it, and then we'll see from there. So the last auction brought in quite a few subscribers. I don't remember how many. But I don't think I will get to 1,000 subscribers after the auction. I don't know. We'll see. Again, maybe if this we get some momentum and some people spreading the news about things and all that jazz, there might be some traction. But I mean, I think it was 4 months ago that I hit 500. So, but anyways, yeah. So this is just all administrative stuff, which this is kind of an administrative day with all this stuff. What's this? Yeah, what's this? I think I'm already qualified for. Okay, I can apply to the partner program right now, and then if accepted, we get super chats and all these other fun things. So how do I? No, it says want to know if you're eligible. Let's see, 2-step verification. Fun. So, but anyways, yeah, this is all the devilish details of getting. I don't know. I'm already very happy with viewership and all this other stuff, but I guess getting a little bit more traction for the auctions, which again ultimately powers the bug empire and the farming things. Hello, Dynamo Terror. Dynamo Terror, we gotta discuss a couple things maybe on Discord. I need to get some bugs from you, perhaps. 418 subscribers to go. Yeah, I'll do another Roach Crossing After Dark when we hit 1,000 subscribers. So, Jojo says that means we can send tips for info on stream. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna verify my phone right now, because that's what it's asking me to do. And the sooner I get the ball rolling with this sort of stuff, I can also do pay the ads or pay for advertisement. But I don't know. What's this? I like this. It's asking me if I want to turn on 2-step verification, and I don't get the option to turn it on. It just says the only option is turn on. So, let's see, monetization policies, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I still need 1,000 subscribers, I guess, guys. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, wait, it says apply now. Let's see. Another thing to keep in mind with my taxes. Eric Christensen, good to be here. Hello, all. Eric, is this your first time here? I don't know. Satchel, use super chats for show bug requests is a splendid idea. That is a splendid idea. I just want to make sure that people get what they want, though, because if somebody asks me to show something and I don't have it, I don't want somebody to have spent money on seeing nothing. So I guess maybe I don't know how it'll work. Figure it out. Super chat a specific species to show. Yeah, that's a good idea. See what Quirmac wants to do. See what Quirmax wants to do. A 30-second ad for your channel. Dude's got like 65K subscribers. Yeah, I could ask Russ if he could throw me a bone for a 30-second ad. I also should make an ad, which is another thing. Again, all this administrative stuff that I get mired in, and meanwhile, I think of all the 300 plus isopod cultures that need to be fed, and then I think about like, well, do I sit in here doing this stuff, or do I go like take care of bugs? Which is a decision that I hopefully will not have to make for too much longer. I won't have to spread myself so thin. Third parties, when you will not be paid, how we pay you, blah, blah, blah. Have an active AdSense account. There's so many things. I guess I accept the base terms. Every time I see the accept terms and conditions stuff, all I can think of is a South Park episode where everybody who selected it got like put into the human centipede or whatever, and then everybody else around them belittles and berates them and is like, "Didn't you read the TOS or whatever?" They're like, "No, nobody reads it," or something like that. That's all I can think of is like, I'm gonna select something on here and I'm not gonna, fully understand, and they're gonna come and take me away and send me off to fight on some Eastern European front or something. Create a new AdSense account. No, I don't have an existing account. Again, apparently, guys, this is the Kyle sets up his OnlyFans live stream, apparently. All right, Elsie has a bug-related question. Let's break the monotony for a second. Just wondering why you list the Bornean leaf roach as intermediate, because I want some, but I don't want to mess up on them. A lot of the intermediate species are just there because they need something more than a bare enclosure with an egg carton. So think of something easy would be like lobster roaches or dubias, where you can basically throw them into a bare plastic tub with like an egg carton, water crystals, and like food, and you can still keep a colony going that way. For the leaf mimic roaches, you're going to need a bit more than that. You're going to need like a substrate and maybe some bark. They could do well on egg cards. There's a little bit more to it than just throwing roaches in a container and expecting them to reproduce. So again, it's just maybe I'll be reworking those terms when that's another thing, the website overhaul coming up. Maybe I'll be reworking those terms, but maybe I'll just say like, I don't know, beginner, easy. It's something that, because a lot of people are put off by the word intermediate, which I'm not, but maybe there's a better way I can change that so it resonates with people more, because again, maybe discouraging the siren outside, discouraging people from getting into a species that's relatively easy, but just you can't keep like your typical feeder, your typical reptile YouTuber's dubia roach colony. Ellen, when are you going to unblock me from your OnlyFans account? Says Zenwonky. All right, we're going to Google AdSense and we're gonna see how this goes. Why is it not letting me put my website URL in here? Okay, it's using the YouTube channel. Should I have it send me customized help and performance suggestions, or no, don't send me customized help and performance suggestions? Eric Christensen, yeah, South Park has been very prophetic in the past. We're going to just say no, I don't need customized help. I'm not in Albania or Algeria or American Samoa. Scroll down and see where we're listed. Us U.S. citizens, STU, United States. See, they make you scroll all the way down to United States and say United States of America is the full name of our country. Still debating whether or not I should sign up for the customized help and performance suggestions, but there's enough spam that goes into the Roach Crossing website folders as it is. Oh, somebody sent me some funds. Splendid. I need to tell them I received that, which I don't always do. We'll just say no. I guess I can always opt into it. By enrolling in AdSense, you permit Google to serve as applicable advertisements and other content, ads, Google search boxes and search results, and related search queries and other links to your websites, mobile applications, media players, mobile content, and or other properties approved by Google. Each individually a property. In addition, you grant Google the right to access, index, and cache the properties or any portion thereof, including by automated means. Google may refuse to provide the services to any property. It seems relatively not. Oh, there's a lot more of this. Okay, this is just saying at any time they can stop, suspend payments. Gosh, this is a lot. How do the children influencers go through all of this stuff? How much email do you want from them? That's what that question means. As few emails as possible. Thank you for translating, Zen Monkey. Blah, blah, blah. This is just going to add to the nightmare that is things at tax time. This permanent setting is used for tax and identity verification. The business account type is for educational institutions. How do I am a business though. But I'm an LLC and it's just me. You can only edit your legal company name with a business account. Learn how to upgrade your if you're paying on behalf of a business. But I'm the only one. It's a LLC sole proprietorship. Edit the profile. Sign into your payment summary. Man. Open the YouTube app on phone. Why is there 14 here? I see what it's doing. Except it didn't send me that. Try and resend it. Oh, it's on the YouTube app on my iPhone? Maybe if I had like somebody who was desperate to steal my identity, I would be more guarded. What's this? Oh, it's just showing my settings, my purchases. Why won't it let me edit my account type? Well, maybe this won't become a problem in the future, right? right? Riveting stream. I know it is, Satchel. I know. Again, this is the Kyle opens his OnlyFans account is essentially what this is. But man, why can't I edit that? Man, they don't want you going in and changing it all willy-nilly. But, well, again, surely, well, we could try this one. Okay, all right, here we're on to something. We're on to something now. I figured out how to open it up into something. Okay, guys, I might have fixed the problem here. Anyways, it may have any bug related. This is the content that people want. It's the content that people need for the future. Maybe I can make a poorly articulated video on how to update all these things on your blossoming YouTube channel, so you can start your roach related streaming career. That's what people really need. Get off the ground. Nobody gave me any help when I was younger. I had to pull myself up by my bootstraps. And now I have completely circled back to wherever I started. Wonderful. Well, Satchel, do you have any bug-related topics or questions? Oh, that sun is still blinding. There we go. I suppose I could blather on about this is whether you get paid to your SSN or EIN. Selena Seahorse. Hello. Hello, Selena. I think this is your first time on the live stream. You've picked a very riveting one. I'm trying to figure out monetization for the Roach Crossing YouTube channel. What roaches did you order? I don't think I recognize your name from any of the emails I've responded to lately. So yeah, I apparently we need a crash course on your philosophy of flake soil fermentation. Okay, good news, guys. I changed the everything to business, so that's good. All right, there we go. Anyways, so flake soil. I have been getting more into beetles lately. I am still floundering around. I used year-and-a-half-old flake soil for some Dorcas Titanus Castana color. I had been using my white rotwood mycelium mixture previously with really good results at first, and then this last batch of Castana color, I couldn't really seem to get the females to lay a lot in the white rot, and so I had a huge female emerge, and I paired her with a male, and I put her in a flake soil thing, thinking, okay, we'll try flake soil this time, and there was not enough ventilation or something. Again, Kyle and his ventilation setups, but this time I tried the beetle breeders lower ventilation setups, and she molded over within a couple of days, and I didn't even think it would be an issue because this doesn't happen with the mycelium setups, and she just died, and I'm really distressed about that. And now I'm like the last couple of female Titanus Castana color I have, I'm like just hoping to wring every last egg out of so I can get an F2 out of them and keep them going. So I did see some eggs, and so I think I'm safe, but still it was very frustrating because many people swear by flake soil, and here it kind of screwed me over. So that's with the flake soil. What I'm shifting more towards in the future will be shifting or looking more into is taking wood products, throwing them on the ground outside, and leaving them for like a year, and that will be my process of. And Alan, this isn't an entomophagus fungus. This was like the stringy white fungus because it swallowed up all of the flake soil, which again was completely fermented. It had already molded over once. It was already completely consumed by stuff for about a year, and then I let it dry out. to store it easier, and I rehydrated it. And the bottom 5 or 6 inches of the enclosure, the flake soil looks just completely fine, like that nice golden brown color, and just the top 2 inches, it just got swallowed up by this sort of stringy white fungus material. So um, so yeah, it's definitely this, and I put the other Titanus Castana color females that I put on the white rot mycelium have been completely fine. They just haven't been laying as well as the first 2 females that I had gotten. But also, I guess that's just from what I'm seeing, because I only saw eggs through the bottom. I don't really remember where and how I started seeing eggs the first time I got eggs out of the Castana color. But eventually within a couple months, I saw the larvae chewing all the way through, and I think I ended up getting like 20 larvae or something like that out of the this other enclosure. So Selena says also a YouTuber will do an unboxing video of roaches when they arrive. Did they come from me? Is it a roach crossing unboxing? Satchel says to talk about the grand roach list and some of the new things I've gotten, so I will do that in a second. LC says, I think you already confirmed this, but did you add new roaches to your website? There's a note on the homepage that says that I will not be updating basically anything on the site except for the available mantids page and the miscellaneous availability, trip finds, blah, 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 because I just don't have the time to do all the work that needs to be done. And so that will be stuff. Whoops. That will be stuff that's going to be just done in a big chunk when I do the site overhaul this fall. I'm just going to do all of it at the same time, and a lot of things are going to be completely turned upside down, and it's going to take weeks, if not months, to do everything. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to budget my time during that whole process, because some of the information just needs to be just completely thrown out the window and replaced with current/new experiences, entire new profiles that need to be made for everything. The bones of the website have to be completely redone, while this lighting is not flattering for me. Yeah, that's all right. So all that stuff needs to be completely gutted and redone, and so I'm just letting things go into free fall until I get to that point, because the auction is going to be huge. I need to focus on that. And when things slow down and I have that time in the winter is when the landslide of information is going to be done. I think it's probably realistic to say that the site may relaunch on like New Year's Day, kind of like it did originally when I did the first remodel. And I'm going to be ambitious and say that I'll take more time off in November and December to work on it. But I think it's more realistic to think for a January launch date. I think, and also my beloved tech person's schedule and capabilities and all that stuff is another big factor. I do not want to be a burden on anybody. So Eric Christensen asks about keeping springtails in most of your enclosures. Yes, I try to keep them in with pretty much everything. Usually the tropical pinks are my go-to. Small silvers are also really good. Small silvers are an excellent, and I think they're Lepidopterus species. I have to ask TJ. Actually, TJ, I need to ask TJ what the Armadillidium vulgare he sent me are. Because he just sent me a container with them, and I didn't know there was no further label. What were the vulgare you sent me? LOL. Alright, got that out of the way. Yeah, it's been bugging me. I didn't actually get to check in with him. All right, good. Got that out of the way. Yeah, Selena, what did I send? I can't remember. It's been a very, and I clear out my active orders queue after I do a week's worth of shipping, so it doesn't always stick in the memory banks. Let's see. Satchel said talk about the grand list. Talk more about the grand cockroach list. Let's see. We'll go to it right now. So yeah, for those who have not checked the site out in a minute, there is a blog post showing the grand cockroach list of 2023, which has they're up there, which has all. I went around the whole house and found every culture, every project, everything, and quantified it by how established or if it was recently acquired. And that's all on the list. And I think I'll pull it up. I have it in a Word document too. I think we're getting close to the big 300. I think we're getting pretty close to that. And obviously there's some flexibility, maybe somebody overseas might say that having two different color forms of a roach doesn't count, but it's two separate enclosures, and some of these strains are very different from each other. So, I don't know if anybody would give major points differentiating the Clemson insectary, Diploptera, and the UCR ones, but I think that there's a very strong argument for things like the Hobby Eublabrus posicus and the Limon province ones, or all the different Eurycotis floridanas, like the Big Torch Key, are definitely very unique from something like the Silver Springs or the League Cities. So it depends on where you draw the lines there. Vote is 8-4 favoring the 29th. It's seeming like the 29th is going to be it. The reason I have to make a decision now is for the promotional material. Again, I want to start it on, or start getting it distributed on Monday. And so I have to have the dates cemented sooner than later. Exotic Wilderness is kind of a bit late, but I have arrived. Welcome. Just in time for Victor to complain about something. So yeah, that's the reason for the date. We are at, again, scrolling down my Word document here, 273 strains of roaches. Not all of them established. I would have to, maybe I should have put this in an Excel, but I really don't like the Excel interface. The Word is so much easier for quantifying things, but maybe I should transfer all of this information to an Excel sheet so I could see how many are established. But anyways, 273 cultures, not all of them in perfect shape, but the majority of them are in producing shape. And so that's that. I think the last time I did this list, it was at like 220 or 230. So that was a bit over a year ago. So it's like 40, 50-ish new roaches within the last year and a half. And the number will continue to just sort of tick up there. Alan says, I'm more curious when you'll be moving. So we got a lot of things going on right now, obviously, and with Angel and I's situation, her dad has a farm, or her dad, he passed, but he had a farm, and she basically can inherit that, and so we have an option. It's on 8 acres. It's not as much space as I want. It's not where I wanted to move either, but we have that space as an option to work on some things. We kind of we have some options now for stuff. We could, sell this house. I could move all the bugs out of this house, and if we really wanted to, out to there, and then sell this house, clean it up, fix some stuff up, uh, move out to there, and then move everything again to the final location. We could end up just staying out there, depending on the economy and how much this house goes for and what sort of land's available, which is the worst case scenario option in my book. But we have a lot of things to think about and talk about, and so there will be some sort of movement starting in the spring of next year. I don't know exactly what now, but there are many options, and we're just going to sort of run with it and see where things take us. Again, how the economy is and what land's available and all that stuff. So it's going to be another big step, but it's going to be the final step. After that, I'm laying down roots. I'm not moving again, bar some horrific political collapse or insurgency or something. Jojo and a couple people wondering about the sus Paraplaneta americana. It is a line that I'm working on. That's all I'm going to say for now. Initially, I thought it was quite sus, and that's why it has its name. The name may or may not stick. We will see how the phenotype goes. That's why I list things with project versus name strain names. The LLE mahoganies are obviously very proved out. Dan is very insistent on the name, and thus they remain that way. But for some of the projects, obviously, don't want to go finalizing anything until I have some good consistency and things are where I want them to be. Jojo says best time to sell, worst time to buy. Yeah, it's a whole thing like that. But again, the advantage is if we have somewhere we can even move things to temporarily, I can sell this house for as much as I can, and then we could get ready to move to somewhere to the final location and really maximize how much funds we can get for the situation. Exotic Willingness is saying he got some Gynolarita yellow or basal stock from Good Old Satchel a week ago. You can't sell it for anything less than 100 acres, says Jonathan Green. I think 100 acres is too much for me. 20 acres is the bare minimum, though, so that's the thing. Satchels, I'm 100% sure it's a pronotum pair that looks like an amogus. It has to be. You'll have to see upon the release of that strain. It's a bit ways off, I think, from releasing. Unfortunately, I've pulled the females for the next generation for the F2. We're going to see how that works out. Again, very up in the air, unfortunately. Although if it proves out, it will be very handy for some other things I would like to do. So I'm asking if I can show one of my roaches. I guess there's some roaches within grabbing range. These are some immature female of the old hobby stock, Princessia Van Weerbeck, the stock that we're pretty sure is pure. Good. The makeup YouTuber trick. Come on. Put both hands there. Maybe. Focus eventually. One day I'll get the hang of this, guys. One day. Maybe way up here. Yeah. There we go. That's kind of good. And I brought them up here to be serviced when they mature by the Andromana male, because I have not seen any sign of babies from Andromana, and I've had them for, I think, over a year now as adults, and so I don't think TJ's gotten any babies either. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to keep those genetics around. Who knows if we'll ever get more, etc. So I'm going to cross him to them and make a hobby strain, God forbid, containing some Andromana genetics, and at least try and select them to look more like the Andromanas over time, and then obviously try and get the Andromanas actually going too. But it's not looking too good, and I really got to troubleshoot what the heck's going on. Maybe I'll shrink the enclosure size. There's all kinds of things that I could try and do. But at least my Andromanas are still in good physical shape, and male Princessia can live for several years as adults. So he's still got plenty of spunk in him. We gotta make sure he's got the right kind of spunk for when these females mature. Bentley Angel DeCow says, any tips on culturing Paraplenia americana? I've been thinking of getting some. Throw them in a container and feed them is basically how you breed American roaches. Basically, any sort of humidity blocking keeping system, whether it's substrate based or like no ventilation or something like that, it's basically the only thing that limits Paraplenia americana from being everywhere is drying out, and that's why they prefer the habitats they do. Exotic Wilderness says, Kyle, question: since you're a god when it comes to selective breeding, should I wait a generation or so before I select the most high yellow individuals to start refining? Start as soon as you want. What I've already done, so Satchel's, the ones I got from Satchel in the spring had litter, and I pulled the yellow females from that, and now I've got them. I've got 2 containers. I've got a generalized starting group colony where all the babies are kept, and as females get close, as females become sexable and get close to sexual maturity, while they're still nymphs, I pulled them to another container, and so that way they mature without any males around, so I can control who breeds with what. And it doesn't matter if the males are in the collective enclosure with the nymphs and stuff like that, because I'm pulling females as they get close to maturity, so it doesn't matter. So once the females start maturing, I can pick 2, 3 that are of the highest quality, and then I can pick the best quality male out of the ones that have matured, and then I'll do that, and then I'll keep an eye on it and see how the next generation comes along, and then I'll do it again, and then I'll probably release, which is basically what I did the first time with the strain. So I definitely recommend separating nymphs by sex, because all it takes is one male popping up where he's not supposed to be, or popping up sooner than you thought with the females, to derail the whole project, which I had happen with the Hisser project I'm calling Jack-o'-lantern, where I went through and I thought I got every male out of the enclosure, and I had this perfect pair that had the exact phenotype that I wanted, and I put them in there together, and then I went to check on them, and then I lifted the bark, and there was a third male under there that had hid in a crag or something like that, and so I was terrified that this other male had inseminated the female, but now that I've gotten the offspring from that female, it looks like he didn't have the time to. The male that I wanted did do the job. So, but that you don't always get lucky. Assume you're not going to be lucky. So you need to take that matter into your own hands and separate the nymphs, and then pair them up as you see fit after you get adults. I also recommend waiting a little bit, maybe a week or two, ideally 2 weeks after your adults mature, so that the wings can harden and you get a better idea of the color quality, because a lot of the gyna will have especially with Lyrida, both the wild type and the yellow will have they'll be a lot more lustrous and shiny and more intense colors, or maybe even less intense colors, actually, now that I think about it, with the yellows. Their color will not be true for a little bit after they mature. You have to wait for them to harden up, and then you can have a good judge of the actual color. And so I would say, don't just pair a fresh female with a fresh male. Again, give it some time. Bare minimum of 1 week. I think 2 weeks is on the safer side, so you can let them fully harden up, and you can get a good idea for the color quality. It's another thing with isopods too, is you can pick really, it's the trade-off of picking really small individuals that haven't mated yet, is you're just seeing their immature coloration. You may not be seeing the true intensity or type of color pattern that they will have when they're full size, versus when you pick with full size, yeah, you're seeing what their coloration is, but if you didn't keep them in same-sex groups, you have a chance of they've mated with the wrong individual, and then your project's derailed again because you have a really nice adult that you waited for, but then she mated with an unoptimal male. So, Selena, thank you for joining us. I hope that the singular bug was enough to satisfy you for now. But anyways, yeah. So selective breeding, be very, very particular about keeping things separate until it's time to mate, and you will have good results. I really am. I'm gonna keep leaning harder and harder into this selectively breeding the hissers thing, because they already have, people, even completely random normal people know what hissing cockroaches are, and they do have. There's quite a bit of color variety in the pure species that we have in captivity, and it would be nice to. It's nice to sort of see how far you can take things. You also never know what's going to pop up when you're selecting for one thing or another. So picking for certain traits in some of these projects, I'm ending up with things showing other traits that I had no idea were possible or could show up. Like some of the Portentosa projects are the females are getting like a cream or whitish tan border on their pronotum that makes them kind of look like nymphs, and they're adult females. And I sort of look at that and think like, I didn't know that could happen. And then it's, then you split it off that line and you have a new project that you can work on. And so that's what I've been doing with some of these things. A lot of those hisser projects have come out of Dan's LLE Mahoganies, where again the focus there is on the coloration. I have also been breeding the size up a bit, not much. I'm fine with there being a diversity of adult sizes in the Mahoganies. Dan's pretty much passed the reins on that project or on that line to me, so I guess I'm at leisure to make those decisions. But again, out of the selections from that, I've gotten these other characteristics that I'm trying to select for. And again, those jack-o'-lanterns were on the F3 or F4. And the males, so far, the ones that have matured are perfect. All the males have exactly the coloration I wanted, with a couple of small variations. And now I have to decide if any of those variations are suitable for keeping in that line. So that's how that's going. And we'll see how things go with the other hisser projects over time. Again, it might take me 5 years to get a couple of them exactly, or maybe not 5 years, maybe 2-3 years. For best results, maybe 5 or more years to get them where I want them to be. But I think people will find them pretty neat. People will think that's pretty neat. 10-6 for the 29th, says Chris. Yeah, so again, I give people plenty of time to get ready for the auction, but I don't necessarily want to spend my whole weekend sitting here selling bugs. I do enjoy it, but I like walking around, and I like setting up bugs, and I like seeing my friends and a lot of other stuff. So yeah, other people like that, but also for other people, it's a bi-yearly event or whatever. So it's like, if you're gonna go in, you might as well go all in. And I guess it might be easier for people to just pull things up and just leave it go in the background too, versus me. It requires my direct, unadulterated attention the whole time that I am doing that. So, anybody have any other questions? Husbandry questions, availability questions, general questions before we wrap up the stream? Anything? I hear Victor and Nazi being antsy. I'm not exactly sure why either, but probably wanted to come and give me some love. Clear inboxes. There's truly very few things like a clear inbox to me. What's today? Thursday? Maybe I'll clear them again one more time tomorrow morning, and then I will leave them untended for the weekend. Maybe. No other questions? No other thoughts or comments or concerns on this roach wiggle? The last day of August in 2023, not 2021, in 2023 roach wiggle. How easy are orange head roaches? All right, here we go. Here's a little bit coming in. Very easy. Again, I think I have them in the easy category because some people have bred them without substrate and with just like the egg carton set up. But the main thing with orange head roaches is they like high humidity, and in a lot of plastic bins you can get that. But during the summertime, again, if your humidity is very high, and you're keeping them kind of cool, you could end up keeping them a little too humid. But overall, a pretty easy starting roach species. On that humidity note, I killed my hobby stock colony last winter because I was keeping them too dry. And so I had to restart with hobby stock from another person, and now I have a polycarb thing on the lid for the winter time when there is, again, hot, dry air blowing over a lot of my enclosures. And because it's just been me, I haven't been able to water as much. Habernatus walking across my screen. Yeah, get that guy under control, Jojo. Any keys to Turkestans? I always seem to barely make it to adulthood, quickly breed one round, and then immediately die. I have them on EcoEarth. Regularly spray heat pad on the side. For a very short-lived time when I was in college, I was business partners with a friend of mine, obviously no longer friends, who for a while was actually breeding quite a few lateralists, red runners, etc. And his basement was like bone dry because we ran a quartz heater in there, and he was not good at managing temperature, so sometimes it got really too hot in that room. But for the lateralists, again, the ambient room air was bone dry. It was like you breathe in and you feel all your saliva vanish. But he had them in non-ventilated Sterilite bins and tubs with just coconut fiber and egg cartons and all that stuff, and fed dog food, and sometimes we get bananas or whatever we could get for dirt cheap to feed them, and they bred extremely well. When you find them in the wild, it's basically like that, where you find them in like sprinkler boxes and irrigation boxes and like nooks in the wild, especially around man-made structures and stuff. And if you open those things, it's just like a gush of mixed sizes will come out. And then, if you're walking around nearby that, you see, they're dispersing out there. So you see them walking around, running around, coming out of the cracks on the sidewalk, up the side of the pavement, all that stuff. But then if you try to keep them like that and your air is humid, you end up with a lot of problems. The eggs won't hatch, or you get fungal infections and die. And people apparently having problems getting Paraplanea lateralis red runners breeding right now. I should be taking better care of mine, but the colonies are doing well enough. I've been able to sell a couple hundred every week. So anyways, so I'm wondering, consider that sort of situation. What's your sort of airflowy situation? What's your temperature situation? If you've got dry air, maybe you have too much ventilation on the enclosure. Maybe if you've got humid air, maybe you don't have enough. Maybe if you have humid air, you're overwatering. If you have dry air, maybe you're underwatering. The egg cases are pretty desiccation tolerant or resistant. It's same with Blatta orientalises are. Elsie says, my pepper roaches are in cocoa fiber. Should I add anything? Uh, uh, Pepper roaches definitely like more humus mixed into their substrate in the form of rotten wood or leaf litter, just sort of like more organic, not fully broken down organic matter like topsoil kind of stuff. So I would recommend adding some of that stuff to there. Make sure that it's rotten or in the process of rotting, and it's not just sort of dry and crispy and completely sterile. It's it's not brittle. It's more soft, or if it's brittle, it's not sort of like papery. It's more like a cracker where when you touch it, it falls apart, crumbles apart. Exoneralist, you know the difference between Montenegro and Dubrovnik? I'm assuming that's Armadillidium klugii. The Montenegros, I have never seen yellow spots on the Dubrovniks on any of the early pictures of that strain. I guess I haven't seen yellow spots in Slanos either, but I just got those. I don't have any long-term experience with that, or I wasn't paying close attention to the whole Slanos when they were first brought in. I was focusing on the Montenegros and working on getting Dubrovniks and paying attention to those. The Montenegros tend to be smaller. They tend to not have the sort of reddish in between the segments like the Dubrovniks do, although in my time I have seen a handful of Montenegros that have the a little bit more red in between the segments. Might have just been gravid females ready to burst, and then their segments are kind of stretched out, so you see a little bit more of what's between them. The Montenegros are also much smaller than the Dubrovniks. The maximum size for the Dubrovniks is several millimeters longer than the maximum size for Montenegro, and I can say this because I've had virgin females of both species kept in like a group of 5 to 10 and just grown out for as long and as big as possible. The Dubrovniks just completely dwarf the maximum size for the Montenegro pure stock. So if you get Dubrovniks with yellow spots, I think that's a pretty good sign that there's compromisation in there, or if you're getting a mix of ultimate sizes. And for Montenegros, I guess it's a little bit more difficult to determine, but maybe that size and more of the red influence would be part of it. So could I add Eco Earth mixed in? I'm not exactly sure what's in Eco Earth, but I think some of that contains fir bark, which a lot of bugs don't really like. If it's very well-aged fir bark, they may be okay with it. But when I was younger, and I think I maybe mixed Eco Earth, or I mixed something that contained fir bark in when I was setting up my first sand roaches, my Polyphaga aegyptiaca. And I remember the roaches just being unsettled, unable to like burrow in or settle down for like days from even the little bit of aromatic material that was on the fir bark. They couldn't get comfortable. I can't remember if I had to restart them after that, if they all died or something, or if I moved them right away. How do you catch Mediterranean spotted roaches? They're so small, and Rack says, Muti. Welcome. I think this is your first time here, Muti, so if it is, welcome. I catch them by hand, or I'll have a container with some barrier around the inside of it, and I'll go out collecting for them, and I'll grab them, I'll cup them in my hand, and I will sort of gently flick them. I've learned how to flick insects into enclosures without injuring them. Years of experience. If you just throw them in, they'll smack into the bottom and just get hurt. But it's like, it's a specific way of sort of maybe even giving them a little bit of a spin so that I can't describe it with words. I have to go through the action of thinking of having a roach on my hand. But there's ways to do it where you don't injure the roach. And again, another way you can do it, you just kind of cup them in it and shake things around a little bit till they fall to the bottom. But yeah, that's how I do it. Some people, maybe a Berlese funnel or a modified Berlese funnel you could use to try and get some leaf litter material or a beat sheet and then capture them with a aspirator or pooter. But I always go by hand. I've killed quite a few things with pooters in the past. I remember September 2021 up at the Bog Springs Campground, Madeira Canyon in Arizona. And me and Will and Ben were flipping rocks looking for stuff, and we came across a rock that had a bunch of ant crickets under it, and that's one of Will's favorite things, and I like them too. So I was like, hey, let's catch these right now. It's like 10 of them under this rock. And I remember borrowing Will's aspirator, like the old BioQuip one or whatever, and sitting there for like a couple minutes catching all the ant crickets. And then I went to show them to Will, and I looked in the the bottom of the containment thing and realized that all of them had died from the impact of me sucking on the tube and the air pulling them in and them smacking into the bottom of the vial. So stuff like that can happen. That's why I make these little really shoddy pooters, and I give them all unique names. That's just made of like a deli cup and then some straws and then some like muslin cloth. And they work really well for my purposes. They usually don't maim things. They're delicate enough that I've used them on like cycota moth flies without killing the moth flies by using that. So, Elsie, yeah, for what substrate should you use? Again, anything that's sort of a mixture of like different organic matter that's more than just coconut fiber like leaf litter and rotting or rotten wood. I've been using more of my yard compost lately for a lot of things, but also wood pellets. Seems like a lot of the larger blabberids can actually just eat basically raw wood pellets, hydrated, so it has to be moist, not just straight up the dried out little pellety things. But a lot of them will eat that too. Haven't yet ascertained if they get a good amount of nutrition from it, but the fact that they eat it when they have other food available makes me think, maybe they're just going for the fiber. Maybe their endosymbionts are telling them they need a little bit of that right now, so they're sort of gleaming off of it. So, but yeah, it's also sometimes maybe your standard diet for them is suitable enough that they don't need the extra material. So watch your peppered roach group, LC, see how they're doing over the next couple of months. If you're getting healthy molts and they're eating well, and when they start to molt to adulthood, they all look like they're in. I'm gonna have to put my trash out tonight, I think. They all look like they're in good shape. There's no wing deformities. They're not cannibalizing each other. Then you could keep going with the current substrate that you have for them. But if you start noticing some problems, decline in fitness or cannibalism or discoloration, just then think, I should add some more of this other stuff to the enclosure. Jonathan, I have never bred Pterophylla camellifolia. I wish that they were in my area, and I wish that I could actually see them. I've never actually seen an adult, unless those ones that I found in Florida were Pterophylla, but they might have been, I think it's Leah floridana or Leah floridensis. They're very similar. But I did collect those. I didn't breed those. But I've never, unless those were Pterophylla, I've never actually seen Pterophylla camellifolia in person. Again, I've heard them. But I have plans for someday. Jonathan, if it was a female, I would have gotten it from you. I kind of want to try them. So, Elsie says, I haven't had any die and I got them from you. Okay, that's good then. So if they're doing well, they're molting, they're growing, and you don't have any problems, it's one of those situations where it's like, I don't argue with results. I'm trying to think, what's a ridiculous thing that somebody's done. It's like I think Alan has like a bunch of termite species in little containers where they just sort of infest the little container and they make the little poo tunnels and caverns around themselves. And I just think, oh man, I'm too nervous to do that sort of setup. I have to carefully manage the humidity. What if it gets too moist? What if it gets too dry? What if there's not enough room? All this stuff. But it works for Alan. He gets good results, so I don't argue with it. It's like, okay, that's one way you can do this. And I wouldn't do it that way. I could do it a completely different way and still be successful. But if it's working for you and you have the evidence for that, then keep doing it. So that's my advice there is if it's working well, whatever you're doing to take care of them, keep doing it. And if you start having problems, then you should start thinking about, maybe I should do something a little different. So, all right, guys, with that being said, I think we're going to wrap the live stream up. Thank you, everybody, for being here for this part administrative and part bug discussion live stream. Maybe we'll see by next week how the monetization process is looking. Well, I guess we'll see by the following week because we will not have a live stream next week. It is Angela's father's memorial services. So I will see everybody on September 14th. I hope everybody has a great 2 weeks. Thank you all for joining us. I love the show bug super chat option. I think that is going to be a great go-to into the future. So I really appreciate all the people who had suggested that. So with that being said, everybody, I'll see you on September 14th. Until then, may your cultures ever be bountiful.